And welcome back, once again adventurers, to Let's Play BlazBlue Calamity Trigger. In the last episode, Ragna the Blood Edge was on his way to face down, to basically complete his mission, self-proclaimed as it was, to destroy the Cauldron at the heart of the 13th hierarchical city of Kagutsuchi. Before he could do so, first of all, the Cauldron itself was opened, and second of all, Ragna was interrupted by yet another mysterious individual, who we know under the name of Noel Vermilion, although that name was unfamiliar to Ragna during their brief encounter. And despite all his best efforts, Ragna was unable to overcome Noel. Exactly why she was there was obscured in mystery for the time being, but nevertheless, for some reason, Noel threw herself and Ragna into the depths of the Cauldron. And surprisingly enough, a distraught Jin Kisaragi arrived and threw himself in after them, which ended with a rather cryptic epilogue from Rachel Alucard, of all people. But things are actually slightly little bit different here, because, the story's not over yet, believe it or not, as I probably mentioned at the end of the previous episode. It never is with BlazBlue Calamity Trigger, because I've once again fought Hakumen off screen, but this time I've decided to defeat him using an astral attack, which actually is fairly important, because even though you saw the gate of the Cauldron opening at the beginning of this episode, things aren't going to be the way they were before, at least slightly. And apparently the system for the Cauldron is going haywire. Caution, caution, caution. Unit Murakumo number 13. Reproduction program schedule ended. That's actually a Greek word there. It's basically reads the new startup ready.
Done booting already? What a pain in the ass.
Yeah, because believe it or not, Noel was not, was not the one who emerged from the Cauldron itself, or rather the weird-looking device that emerged from the Cauldron. This isn't good. I'm starting to feel like I'm gonna hurl, just thinking about it. I grip my teeth. That thing is getting closer.
Loading. 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 Loading.
Yeah, it's safe to say that that isn't Noel Vermilion at all. Indeed, this is the what appears to be designated as the 13th Murakumo Unit, known as Nu. Now, her attire is actually rather interesting. She's wearing a white robe with numerous talismans attached to it here and there, as well as long white hair, surprisingly reminiscent of Ragna. And speaking of being reminiscent of Ragna, you'll notice that there is an eye patch on her right eye. Which eerily enough seems somewhat similar in color and design to the gems on Ragna's gauntlets. Now, I know for a fact that some people have asked the question, why does Nu have an an Azure Grimoire in the form of an eye patch? But once again, the gemstones on Ragna's gauntlets are not the Azure Grimoire. The entirety of Ragna's right arm is the Azure Grimoire itself. Nu's eye patch is nothing more than, well, just an eye patch.
All systems normal.
But it seems that Nu is finally done booting up, and this is actually the real reason why Ragna has been going after Cauldrons. I did kind of drop hints here and there, but yeah. So basically Ragna's true endgame is to basically destroy all of the Murakumo units contained within the Cauldrons in each of the hierarchical cities, which is ultimately what has brought down the wrath of the NOL down upon its head in the form of the world's largest bounty.
Activating Murakumo.
But this is, yeah, to say that this isn't going to be good is kind of an understatement. She slowly opens her eyes. Of course, only one will be visible thanks to the eye patch.
Oh, Ragna!
And all of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, her personality is switched at the drop of a hat. Because just a moment ago, her personality was cold and emotionless, like a robot as such. Although I wonder if Murakumo units are actually robots. At the very least, they are essentially artificial beings. That much is certain. That's not very nice.
Oh, sorry about that. But it really has been a while. Third time, right?
Yeah, getting that feeling of deja vu that isn't quite deja vu here.
Third time, stupid. Wait, is that right?
Though then again, we could take this as the fact that, maybe she's referring to the other Murakumo units, in which case, that basically means that Ragna hasn't destroyed as many cauldrons as he cares to admit.
What is this strange feeling?
Yeah, this is, one would actually call this a nexus of causality here, because remember what Rachel said about an endless dance of sorts.
Welcome! Did you come to kill me again?
Yeah, from Ragna's perspective right now, and of course from ours, this is the first time that Ragna is facing Nu here. But in reality, that couldn't be further from the truth.
I didn't come to kill you. I came to destroy you.
Since you are a Murakumo unit, I suppose.
Those are one and the same. You know it hurt so much last time. When you lashed out at me, I thought I was a goner.
Shut up.
But Ragna, didn't it feel wonderful?
Starting to get quite a few bad vibes from Nu here. I think even Ragna feels the same way.
You slashed me, pierced me all over, when I was completely defenseless.
Wait a minute. Could Nu be referring to the other Murakumo units? Does that mean that in her dormant state she was somehow linked to the other Murakumo units? That possibility is actually not beyond the pale, and that would certainly explain a lot.
Shut up!
But it seems that Nu's revelations are starting to grate on Ragna's sanity.
You knew what you were doing that time.
I told you to shut up!
You were smiling.
You look way too creepily happy with that expression there, Nu.
But today's gonna be different. See? I even have a new body and I can talk.
Yeah, that's because, thanks to Hakumen, you're now fully awake. Congratulations.
But would you prefer something like last time?
And, surprisingly, that is the, most neutral expression that Nu has, given. That's not, that doesn't come across as being a soulless robot.
I said shut up! That face, that voice, don't you dare talk to me like that!
Eerily enough, something about Nu's appearance stirs up memories inside Ragna. And that is an ill omen indeed. To which Nu has, apparently has no response to that.
I'm here to destroy you! That's all there is to it! There is nothing we need to talk about!
I think you're sounding, too desperate, you're desperately sounding like you're trying to convince yourself there, Ragna.
What?
I knew you were just like me! Yeah, just like me!
Yeah, Nu has, surprisingly two personalities. One is of a, emotionless Murakumo Unit, and the other is, somewhat creepy and crazy.
What the hell are you talking about?
Ragna, you want to destroy things, right? Me, yourself, this whole world? You want to destroy it all!
Wait a minute. I think Nu is actually referring to the Azure Grimoire.
Of course, because you have the power to do that. The Azure Grimoire. The power to fight against all of humanity. You already have the power, so of course you want to use it.
And, my hunch was entirely correct. That, mirrors a lot of what Hakumen was saying earlier.
That's okay, Ragna. We can go at it. Until the end of time. You know, I'd do anything for you, Ragna.
Oh, joy. It seems that, in this personality state, Nu has a yandere complex. That's entirely fantastic.
Because I'm yours, Ragna. I'm the only one who can satisfy you, Ragna. Yeah, I'm the only one.
That just makes things even worse.
Bitch.
Come, Ragna. Let me put my arms around you.
And all of a sudden you've magically materialized body armor, and are those wings on your back? I'm hoping that they're wings. They could be something else. And now it's time for combat between Ragna the Blood Edge and the Murakumo Unit, Nu 13. This is going to be an interesting fight. It really is. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to this.
Is turning.
Yeah, those are not wings. Those are not wings at all.
Rebel. 1. Action.
And the name of the stage theme here, Nu's battle theme, is called Awakening the Chaos. Very appropriate title, if I do say so myself. Now, I didn't do this for Noelle, since she was meant to be a mystery, but I am going to look at Nu's command list. And her drive attack is Sword Summoner, which can apparently materialize swords from thin air, and that's fantastic. And I'm guessing that the objects floating behind her are not wings as I'd hoped, but in fact swords themselves. You've got Spike Chaser, which summons swords from the ground. Sickle Storm, which summons swords that they can't be blocked. Well, that's incredible. And yeah, you can also alter where they appear by using C, which doesn't really help. Crescent Saber, which slams you into the ground. Gravity Shield, that throws a field but slows you down. Act Passer, which is a high-speed dash. And News Distortion Drives are Legacy Edge, which is some collection of swords. Calamity Sword, which summons a giant sword that falls from the sky. That's definitely don't want to get hit by that. And then her Astral Heat attack is Sword of Destruction, which I don't think we want to get hit by that. But time to get this show on the road. Hate is a very strong word there. Let's get this over with. Who has get over here. And there are the swords, but fortunately I wasn't in their trajectory. Ah, come on. Oh, and those swords can actually do a lot of chain attacks. Ah, and you blocked my Hell's Fang. I'm so mad. Oh, and there's some of New's spatial. Oh, and you, don't want to stand on there. Don't want to stand on there. How did you hit me? Oh, because you summoned swords out of midair. Why did I do that in midair? That is not what I want to do. Ah, you're using your barrier, Armagus. Get back here. Deal with Nu before she actually unleashes the swords. No, 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 no. I'm not putting up with the shenanigans, Nu. No, and I clipped right through you. Nope. Looks like this is oh god, she has 100 heat gauge.
Do you hate me,
Get back here.
Do you hate me,
Oh god. Oh, I could lose this. Now go back to Carnage Scissors here, and hopefully I can pull it off.
Carnage!
There we go.
Impact nullified.
Ah! I am.
Do you hate me?
Oh god! Oh. There's that barrier burst. That's my last option. Finish it off with a Gauntlet Hades. I'm actually quite disappointed by that, but you managed to block Carnage Scissors. But
You bastard.
of course, if she had summoned, if she'd used any of her distortion drives or astral heat attack, I would have been in completely deep trouble.
You can't change anything. Nothing at all.
And for some reason, your words are an eerie mirror of Noel's.
You let go of what? My power is fading. Stop it! I'm not. You bastard! Let go. Let go of my brother!
It seems that the chain of causality is playing itself out, although this time it's Nu and not Noelle that is throwing herself and Ragna into the Cauldron, but Jin is still following
Jin,
suit.
is that you? Stupid. Don't come! Run!
In the end, this one was the same as all the others.
Indeed it was. It was marginally different, but not by much.
They will all be the same, like an endless dance, a puppet show that goes on forever.
Yeah, I definitely know how that feels.
Today the light will shine down again, to set fire to their demise.
Now that phrasing is rather cryptic. Something tells me that you're actually familiar with the object in the sky that unleashed fiery destruction upon the location that we saw in the introduction cutscene.
Until we meet again.
But you're not wrong there, Rachel. We will meet again. Of that, I think both of us can be certain.
Complete annihilation of the 13th hierarchical city Kagutsuchi confirmed. Phase number 724 completed successfully.
I wonder if the system is responsible for that orbital satellite. I wonder.
System operating within normal limits. Transmitting all data to Tamagahara. The system will now proceed to phase number 725.
And thus we end the story of the Grim Reaper once more. And, so yeah, that was, yet another ending of, Ragna the Blood Edge. And, a very important one at that as well. But, it is now time to, bring this episode to a close, so, when we return, adventurers, I shall grace you with one final ending that I have yet to show you. But that will be for next time. As always, adventurers, until next we meet.